Hello and welcome to the show. Before we begin, today is an out and about episode, so expect to hear noise in the background, people walking by, cars, animals, the usual. So now that we're done with that, let's get on to the topic for today. So today on the show, we're going to look at more ways to add value to the customer, more ways to add value to your business partners, your stakeholders, your investors, the business communities that you're in on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. Basically, ways that we can add value. And yes, it's a continuation of the series that we've been running for the last 3 or 4 episodes so far. So, if this is your first time of listening to the show, after you're done listening to this episode, skip back 2 or 3 episodes and get caught up to date on all the ways that we've explored about how you can be valuable to your customers and other people that you do business with. So, today, the way that we're going to explore to become much more valuable to your network is to become a domain expert. Now, some of you are going to ask, does that work? Becoming a domain expert, does that work? Because we all remember back in the day when we were in university or secondary school, we all know that lecturer who was the undisputed expert in whatever the field was in law or chemistry or whatever, but they just seemed to be a big fish in a small pond. Or, oh gosh, okay, I can't remember what the expression is, but you get my point. This guy is supposed to be the expert, but then again, he's not very impactful in the industry, if you can put it that way. So, becoming a domain expert, does that work? Does that automatically make you much more valuable? So, does it work? The answer is yes when it comes to business. So, to be successful in sales or business development, you're going to need two things. Number one is subject matter expertise. In fact, Brian Tracy says that this is absolutely important, and you're going to see why. And then the second thing that you need to be successful in business is sales process expertise, because you have to be the absolute don in what it is that you do, whether it's wedding photography or if you're on, what's that word? What's it called? The people who take care of women and babies, OBGYN, obstetrics and gynecology. Well, you have to be the best, but then you also need to know the business side of things. You need to be good with the sales process, how you talk to potential clients, how you talk to potential clients, bedside manner in the case of OBGYNs, because that's what's going to get you repeat business, or rather referral business, if I can put it that way. People who have been through your OBGYN consulting practice, and they see that you're the absolute best, they like your manner, and so they talk to their friends about it, like, oh, congratulations, you're pregnant, you should see Dr. Fashino, you should see Dr. this person, you should see Dr. that person, blah, 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 blah. So it's not just subject matter expertise or being the domain expert, but we have to slam that in conjunction with sales process expertise as well. So when you put those two together, then you have a nice, healthy mix, and that is what helps you to deliver the true value wherever it is that you find yourself in your OBGYN practice, or your practice as a lawyer, or as a wedding photographer, or whatever. So to be a successful carpenter, that's the deal. You need to know your woods, your designs, your what else? What else does a carpenter need to know? Different kinds of wood, different kinds of designs, making sure that the work is neat, deliver on time, all that technical stuff, subject matter expertise. But then the carpenter also needs to know, also needs to have sales process expertise. How do I find the right kind of clients? How do I start the conversation with them? How do I try to figure out what it is that they want? How do I manage the customer experience? What else? All those sorts of things. It's the same thing with the lawyer. So for the lawyer, you need to be up to date on everything it is that your clients require. So let's say you're an esports. Okay, esports. That's a new one of these newfangled aspects of the law. People that are making building careers by playing Call of Duty and all these games online. So it's not just people in the NBA and people playing in FIFA tournaments and what else? All these football tournaments all over the globe. Those are not just the people who are making money in the physical space. They're also people who are playing these games online that also make a living that way, playing in different leagues. Now, that's not something that I'm knowledgeable on. I'm not up to date with that. But assuming that you're a lawyer and that's your space, then yes, you have to be the absolute subject matter expert. You need to know how these leagues are created, organized, managed. How do you manage talent contracts, What else? Okay, well, it's not my field, so let me not speculate too much. But you get the point. So you need to know that technical aspect. Then you also need to know the sales process expertise as well. You also need to know, where do I find these clients? How do I reach out to them? How do I figure out what their problems are at the current stage of development that they're at, and things like that. So it's the same. If you're a crypto trader or you're a broker, it's the same. You need to know all that technical stuff of what crypto is, what the exchanges are, technical patterns, fundamental knowledge, all the things I need to be able to trade these sorts of assets successfully. Then you also need sales process expertise, or the soft stuff, the business stuff. You need to know about raising funds, you need to know about capital allocation skills, you need to know about stakeholder management and all that stuff. So it's the same, even if you're a YAM trader. So I'm sure you guys get the picture. Whether it's carpentry, law, crypto trading, YAMs, you're a doctor, you're an OBGYN, or for those of you who are doctors, forgive me if I'm using the wrong initials. I think it's OBGYN, but if I get it wrong, forgive me. I'm not a doctor. So whatever business scenario it is that we look at, it's the same. Domain expertise, absolutely important, but then we marry it with the sales process expertise, and then that's where the value comes forth. So what is domain expertise? A lot of people assume that domain expertise is insight and innovative thinking, and I guess that is where our fancy professors back in school got it all wrong. So it's not just the insight you have and the innovative thinking that you have, but also delivering solutions to people's problems. That is where the value comes in, and that is where the sales process expertise comes in, because the sales process expertise, business development process, all that is geared around delivering solutions. Because if we're going around, we're trying to drum up business, I'm trying to expose people to my product or my service, but I'm not delivering solutions, I'm not delivering impact, then we can't really call that value. So it's not just your knowledge, but it's also your facilitation skills, and that's where the sales process expertise comes in. Because when you're having those all those business development conversations, all those business conversations, that's what you're trying to do. Basically, you're trying to facilitate stuff. This is my product, this is my service, this is the agenda I'm trying to pursue, and I'm trying to facilitate an outcome here for both of us, an outcome for you, an outcome for me. I get some money, you get some results, and then everybody is happy. So this is what will deliver your clients value and all the other people that you interact with in business. Because when we get into business, yes, we start off because we're looking for customers, but eventually we have to deal with government regulators if you become that big. You have to deal with other industry stakeholders, no matter how small you are, because even if you're just a lowly carpenter, eventually the Ikeja Association of Carpenters or whatever, you guys are going to have to get together, because you need to protect yourself, or maybe you need to improve your knowledge, or whatever. So these things happen even in the trades. Eventually tradespeople get together, they form an association. So yeah, in the beginning we're chasing customers, but then eventually we're interacting with other people, regulators, investors, stakeholders, and what have you. So delivering value will not just be your expertise, but then the results that you bring to other people that you interact with. So, are you a subject matter in your field? That's good, but still, connect with me on LinkedIn so that we can hone your sales process expertise and the manner in which you carry out business conversations to make sure that you're delivering results to all the people that you come in contact with on your business journey. So that's all for today. Remember that you can subscribe for free. The name of the show is Sales for the Nigerian Business Person Podcast. I'm available on Spotify, Google, Apple iTunes, Pocket Cast, Overcast, any podcast player of your choice. And remember to connect with me on LinkedIn. The name is Tavishima Ayede. If you don't know the spelling, just check the podcast profile in whatever player that you're listening to at the moment. You see my name there. You see my email address there. Remember, for those of you who are still finding me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all those other fine places, I'm not there anymore, but the videos are still up on Instagram and TikTok. I have to mention this again because I checked my Instagram DMs recently, and I just saw that one of you gentle listeners reached out to me, I think 3 months ago, and I didn't respond. I'm terribly sorry about that, but I really am not checking those things anymore. I think that my time is better spent in LinkedIn, where we can have actual conversations. And then plus, if I'm going to be really productive about how I put out the podcast, I have to limit the amount of time I spend on social media, especially on social media channels that I don't think are giving me the best results when it comes to growing this community and growing the sphere of influence of the podcast. So that's it for today. Thank you very much, guys, for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next episode.